said before, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Richard Bueno Hudson, and I'm the director of Incide Cervantes. You know what we do here. We promote language and culture, the Spanish language and the cultures of Spanish-speaking countries. Hence, tonight is a very special night for us. Thanks to Alberto, the star of the night.
Oh, well, I'm not the star of nothing. That's not right. But anyway, thank you.
Incidentally, I'm so used to having a full house that I'm full of it right now. I take it for granted that I'm going to have an absolutely full house. And with you as a partner here, we're gonna hit the whole road.
Yes.
Now, Alberto, I'm going to start straight to the point. American Latinos, 1935, 1945. Tell us about the photos. Let's start with the project. How did it all come about?
So it all started in the pandemic because it was the worst of times, but it was also kind of like the best of times for certain things. And for a project like this, which was spent many, many hours in the digital archives of the Library of Congress. And here I have to stop for a second because Adam Silvia, this gentleman over here, say hi, Adam, get up. He's the curator of this collection. He lives in Washington, D.C., surrounded by these photographs. And if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a movie upstairs. I swear to God. So going back, two wonderful things happened during the pandemic. One, I discovered these photographs, which I knew existed, but it didn't click until it clicked. And two, this is very important. When you've seen pretty much everything that you could stream, like I saw Ozark, I saw Breaking Bad for the second time. It was like totally done with streaming. One night I decided I probably took a gummy. Now that I think about it.
He does that quite often.
I may have done that. But I was watching, it was one of those like old Hollywood Egyptian themes. It wasn't Cleopatra. I think it was called Land of Pharaoh. And I was watching the movie, and all of a sudden it dawned on me, the bodybuilders and the lame, and I said, my images of ancient Egypt were crafted by a gay Hollywood set designer. Which is a huge realization because, let's face it, I think a lot of people think that they know history because they saw a movie. And it's not the case. And I knew that, but at the same time, because when we're watching things, we just open, our eyes are, absorbing. And I said, damn, everything, when I picture old Egypt, that's what I picture. And I didn't have an image of Latinos in the U.S. in the past. I'm one of those people. I came 34 years ago to the United States, and I was surprised by the presence of Latinos here because I never saw them in Hollywood movies or in TV series. It was Eric Estrada and Charo, and that was it. And so it made me question why is it that I couldn't picture Latinos in the past, and then I bump into these photographs.
So how did you find them? I would like to ask.
So it was a little bit of a miracle. There was I was working at the time on a project for the National Museum of the American Latino. Maybe some of you have seen it. It's called Somos, and it's a video installation. Thank you. Next time you go to DC, you gotta go see it. And I needed maybe I'm gonna say 10 photographs, and I had a researcher who suggested a list of images. And one of those images was, I'm going to show it to you because I have it right here. Let's see, how do I do this? That picture. And that was a photo I had seen before many times in PBS documentaries. Every time there's a documentary about the Great Depression, you see that picture. But I had not seen the title of that picture. And the title of that picture is Daughter of Mexican Laborer in Arizona in 1937. And all of a sudden I was like, how many more pictures of Mexicans do they have in the Library of Congress? How many pictures of Puerto Ricans? Let's look for Hispanic. Oh, Hispanic is not in this list. Turns out that the Library of Congress has this incredible collection. Are you familiar with the Farm Security Administration? No? Okay, you will be. I'm sorry, I'm letting you know. This is like crack. This is your first hit, people. Now you know it. Now you're going to know what it is. So in the 1930s, Franklin Delano Roosevelt created a program to help poor farmers. And part of that program was, he had what they call the correct me, Adam, because you know this better than anyone. I think they call it the archive, correct? Where they went around the country taking photos of everybody. The motto became, well, people started saying that that's how Americans met Americans. That's how, that these photographs introduced Americans to America. And they took these pictures for about 8 years. They took an enormous number of photographs. And these pictures are in the Library of Congress. They have been digitized in actually a pretty large format. I'm going to show you in a second. And I just fell in love with them. And I needed about 3, and I had 150 selects to choose those 3. And that's when I said, I need to do something else with these images.
So that's when you turned your search into a fully fledged project then?
Exactly.
I'm assuming.
You assume correctly. And we took, I'm going to show you. So I did keyword searches, and so this was one of the many Mexican photographs. Oh, by the way, when you find a good picture, then you can go into the lot of where that picture is held. And these are like groups that often include whatever else was in that roll. And that is the same girl, but the title of the picture tells you actually a lot about American history. It says, refugee families are now mingling with and supplanting Mexican laborers in the Southwest. What happened is that at some point after the Great Depression, there were no jobs, so a lot of white people tried to move to the fields to work, like, you know, doing what Mexican migrant workers were doing before. So that was a very interesting moment, and these pictures document that particular moment. So we did not only Mexicans, but this is one of the amazing pictures that they took in Puerto Rico. 2 photographers that I know of, Jack Delano and Edwin Rosskam, and his wife Louise, who some say took all his pictures. These are all things that Adam told me. And then, of course, there's another group. The term Hispanic was not frequent in those days, so they used the term Spanish American. And this is one of the images of Spanish Americans in New Mexico. And it's ironic that very often people say, you know, go back to Mexico to people who have never been in Mexico. Because they didn't cross the border crossed them. So one of the things that made me, that's when I decided this is worth doing, is when I realized how amazing was the resources available in the Library of Congress. I mean, these are pictures that you can literally download on your phone right now. And this is one of my favorite pictures. It's a dance hall, but this is just the detail of the picture. The actual picture is this one. So when you realize the quality, how the hell did they do that in 1941? So that's when I became obsessed with this.
Is that what made these pictures so captivating? Is that why you chose these specific pictures for the, or what made you choose those pictures for the, because you said there were quite a few of them.
There was a moment that when I decided that I was going to do some kind of something, which wasn't clear, that it was going to be a short film, or I didn't want to do anything for YouTube because it would be so small. And when I saw the size of the negatives and the size of the scans, I was like, this needs to be projected on a big screen. And I ended up just choosing images that I felt were representative. And oddly enough, I don't know if you know, but every 10 years somebody discovers these photographs. This is not the first time that anybody, there's books and documentaries about I'll give you keywords if you want, but Roy Stryker, Dorothea Lange, but it's something about the way these characters were captured that I just found fascinating.
And the other thing is, when you first told me about the project, because he said that the pictures haunted him. He haunted me telling me all about the project, which is good. I loved it, and I went through the whole birth of the project, which is great. Especially looking at you now, seeing you so excited about it. You showed that excitement for a whole year. And I want to ask, how did you end up with a video installation and not just producing a video and launching it onto YouTube or something like that?
So I think it had to do with. Here's where I'm going to allow myself a moment of magic realism because I'm from Latin America, and that's our thing. But there was a moment that really I felt haunted by the photos. Like they would not leave me alone. I'm going to give you an example. I think it's, yes, the Mexican cotton picker. I think that she told me that I could not do it. It's like, you found us and what are you going to do with us? So that's when I said, I need to do something. I want to honor the people in these photographs who didn't have particularly happy lives in many cases. Maybe they did. Maybe they were completely satisfied, but they certainly had very difficult lives. And I want to honor them. And the way to honor them, I felt, was by coming up with some kind of like monumental representation of their portraits. And that's when the idea of the video installation came about. So yeah, we could have done like just a little YouTube video, but I don't think that, but there are, by the way, a bunch of YouTube videos if you want. They might not have the same pictures that I chose, but you can see a lot of, if you look for Farm Security Administration, FSA, Roy Stryker, something very interesting. 4 of the photographers whose work you're going to see tonight were women. Famous Dorothea Lange, but also Marion Post Wolcott, Esther Bubley, who was actually one of the youngest photographers they had, and Marjorie Collins, whose crazy ex-husband burned her negatives. Is that right? Okay. So, and then 2 of them, Dorothea suffered polio, so she had a pronounced limp, and John Collier Jr., who I think he's considered the father of photojournalism. Also deaf. So there is something about how important you can be for the history of a country, no matter what you came with, so to speak.
I have to say, now that you're mentioning this and you're showing such excitement, that this, ladies and gentlemen, is the world premiere of this.
It is the world premiere. And I have a question for you, because I would love to know, why the hell did you say, yes, let's show this at the Cervantes Institute? I mean, I did show it to you because you're first of all, because you're a friend and because you're one of the smartest people I know, and cultivated and all that, and a full member of the Royal Academy. But why did you say this is right for the Cervantes Institute?
Well, I have to say something before I answer that interesting question, which I was not expecting. So being interviewed by my own guest is weird, but yeah. But I have to say that this being the world premiere, we were unfaithful to you, you know that. We had a little preview on our annual conference on language and identity last week, and we showed a little glimpse of it. Honestly, I'm not just bragging or showing off because it's your work, not ours. People were in tears leaving the exhibit. It's fascinating. I'm telling you, it's not captivating. It's amazing to see those faces. I'm not a photographer. I'm a social linguist. I haven't got any training or any knowledge about the technicalities about the pictures and all these, but I can see they're good because and the way you've blown them up and just used the right credit and everything is amazing. But now to your question. I mean, why did I say yes? As you know, Instituto Cervantes is basically the cultural agency of the Spanish government. It was created in 1991, and we've got over 100 offices around the world. So in each country that we work and we operate, we obviously adapt our activities to the fields where we're based, because obviously it's absolutely absurd doing the same things in Shanghai, in El Paso, or in Manila, for example. And this country, as you know, as we all know, is very specific in certain things and very exuberant in some others, because obviously the Latino community in this country, we're talking about a country with 335 million people, 63 million of which identify as Latinos, but only 43,000 million of them speak Spanish. And the generation thing, as you all know, is becoming an issue in the sense that more people are now being born in the United States, and it's easier for them to adapt to the let's say, the Anglo way of life and the Anglo language, because they feel more at ease in a country where they do not, a country that does not really make them feel comfortable with, as comfortable as they should, with the Latino identity, let's say. The Pew Research Center has produced some statistics lately saying that this is shocking, 76% of third-generation Latinos don't consider Spanish an identity trait of the Latino community. So that is shocking. We're going to begin to be like Italians or like Poles in this country, because they've never even been to the country.
No offense to Italians, please. He's not meaning it that way.
No, what I'm saying is that coming from Europe, it's really shocking to us to hear somebody say, "Oh yes, I'm Italian," and then they've never been to Italy, for example, and they don't speak the language. So it's weird for us. I don't know. Maybe you're used to this. It's not very common in Europe. If you say you're Italian, you imagine yourself with a pizza, or if you say you're Spanish, with a sombrero, or something like that. But anyway, that was a bit of a freelance joke. But in order to answer your question, why did I say yes? This is so much in line with our mission and vision of the promotion of the Spanish language and culture, that we definitely know that if a lot of Latinos come to see this exhibit, they'll take pride in their ancestry, their origin, their language, their culture, and they'll feel more comfortable about themselves. I think it's a great job. So Alberto, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you, Richard. Again, also, we need to say hi to Olga Meredith. She's back there. Olga, would you come here? Would you step up here for a second? Yes, come here for a minute. I mean, we're almost done, people, I swear to God. Just like a list of 200 people I need to thank. Some of them are here. So that's going to be fast. Well, if you've seen, stick around, where are you going? If you've ever seen Encanto, if you've ever seen In the Heights on Broadway or in the movie theater, then you are familiar with the work of Olga Meredith, who is amazing. Come.
Hi.
Richard, come here. Let's come here.
Thank you.
So, when you do something that is really, really good, to be able to convince people like Olga, she doesn't do this for everybody, let me tell you.
Anything for you, Alberto.
Oh, stop. To get her to join the project, to give that glow that everything that you do has, is just fabulous. Okay, we're getting a little bit emotional here. But besides Olga, Maria Greenawald, she helped us design the space upstairs. Caroline Olkowski, where's Caroline? Right there, Caroline. She's been next to me producing this space. Constantine Apostol, he literally built the space upstairs. Is he here, Constantine? Yes, back there. You go say hi to Constantine. But then Ruth Villalonga here in the front. She's our strategy and development advisor. Fernando Ramirez over there, legal advisor. You don't mess with this material if you don't have like a great team with you. Who am I forgetting? I know, well, Isabel Lara. There's a bunch of people in the thank yous. Isabel introduced me to someone in the Library of Congress who introduced me to Adam. So you have no idea how helpful you can be to someone in need. Be nice, people. Anyway, anything else?
Just two little things. Thank you very much, all of you, for the amazing experience of seeing this. Well, the way you did this in a week or something now. We've been working on this for 3 or 4 days now, setting it all up.
Yes.
I mean,
it's
you've
been
been
like
working
3
for
years.
this for 2 years. 3 years, yeah, no. But I mean, you know that we go back to back one exhibition after the other. So we deassembled basically the last one, and in 3 or 4 days, we did the whole thing upstairs, which was quite interesting.
Constantine did this thing upstairs.
You'll see. Well, he did the
with Caroline.
And you'll be able to enjoy it, because I just want to mention this. You'll be able to enjoy it until June the 12th. Yeah, June the 12th. So he's not saying it, and he's going to probably tell me off for saying this, but I mean, it runs, you've got the two versions, because Olga did a brilliant performance both in Spanish and in English. So you can delight your ears and palate and all your senses in Spanish and then in English. Beautiful job, Olga.
Thank you.
It was amazing. And
So, before we go, every single person in this room is totally worth meeting. So don't be shy. This is like my birthday. I swear to God, it's a little creepy. Sandra Condito is here. Crystal Field is here. Well, all my people from like Univision, O'Neill Vargas Esteves is here. I mean, all the cool people from like Spain, from the education. Nuria is there. I mean, don't be shy. Talk to everybody because everybody's totally worth getting a hold of. Okay, exchange numbers.
thank you very much. So now, are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Well, now we're going to see the product. We're excited. Okay.
Oh, thank
Now-
you, Delia and Telo and Diana Jenner. I mean, dude, that's it. Yeah, I'm not saying
So
anything else.
now, how many people do we say that can go into this?
So
In groups of 30. 30.
if possible, just go in. It plays in a loop. It plays in Spanish. It's 15 minutes. It plays in English, 15 minutes. And there's a minute to get in and out of the theater. We're going to have wine. We're going to chat. And go in. If you feel like it's too crowded, just wait until the language of your choice is, on the system and check it out. We have time. So don't feel like you all have to be there for one pass, okay?
Thanks very much for coming.
Thank you.
Bravo, Alberto.
Gracias.